Welcome to the Tinkercad Quickstart tutorial. In this lesson, we'll be taking a quick tour of the Tinkercad 3D design space. We will cover the following. What is Tinkercad? How to create a new three-dimensional design, Tinkercad editing basics, and how to export your design. Tinkercad is a free web app that is very useful for creating 3D designs and 3D printable files. Tinkercad is a great way to quickly develop and visualize ideas without getting bogged down in the complete option sets of professional CAD utilities like Autodesk Fusion 360 or Inventor. Tinkercad allows the user to group simple shapes together in order to create more complex objects. Tinkercad also allows shapes to be subtracted from one another. It's an intuitive way to quickly rough out design ideas. Browse to www.tinkercad.com to log in. Before you start to use Tinkercad, you will need an Autodesk account and password. Once you are logged into Tinkercad, you will see your user homepage and your recent designs. If you're logging into Tinkercad for the first time, this area will be mainly blank. Note that on the left-hand side of the window, below your username, are options to view your 3D design, circuit designs, code blocks, and lessons. In this tutorial, we'll focus only on 3D designs. We'll start by creating a new 3D design. First, select 3D Designs under your user badge, then click Create New Design. You should then see the Tinkercad creation space. Tinkercad will auto-create a funky name for your design. Start by clicking in the design field to rename the design. I'll call this one T-Brick. The left side toolbar options include Copy, Paste, Duplicate, Delete, Undo, and Redo. The right side toolbar options include Show All, Group, Ungroup, Align, and Mirror. The navigation toolbar options include Navigation Cube, Home View, Fit All In View, Zoom In, Zoom Out, and Perspective Orthographic View toggle. The work plane is in the center of the screen. That is where most of the building takes place. You can view the work plane at any angle in 3 dimensions. It's easy to click the navigation cube to change your perspective. Just click on the view that you want, and Tinkercad will rotate the work plane to suit you. Alternatively, you can hold down the Control key while dragging with the mouse to spin the work plane freely. Dragging with the right mouse button achieves the same effect. You can zoom in or out by clicking on the plus or minus zoom buttons, or simply by using your mouse scroll wheel. In order to illustrate the basic functions of Tinkercad, we will be creating a 1/10 scale tessellating paving brick. Tessellation is defined as an arrangement of shapes closely fitted together in a repeating pattern without gaps or overlapping. Essentially, we will create a nesting patio brick. I'll start by selecting a box from the Basic Shapes menu. Any shape can be dragged from the Shapes menu onto the work plane. I'll drag the box somewhere near the center of the plane. When an object such as a box is selected, its modification handles will be visible. Any one of these handles may be clicked or dragged in order to modify the object's geometry. Likewise, any shape can be rotated by clicking on the rotate arrows. An object's elevation may also be modified with the elevation handle. When an object or shape is selected, the Shape Inspector window appears. Here it is possible to modify the shape's display color, and much more importantly, whether the shape acts as a solid or as a whole. In Tinkercad, some of the shapes allow certain geometric qualities to be modified in the Shape Properties window. For this model, I will change the shape's color and modify the height in the Properties window. To deselect the box, simply click on the work plane, or select a different object. Next, I will select another shape from the Basic Shapes window. I'll select a hexagonal polygon and drag it to the work plane next to my box. Use the navigation tools to get the optimum viewpoint when moving objects. Switching from perspective view to orthographic view is advisable when aligning objects on a single plane. Now I can carefully align my hexagon with my box. I can move any shape by dragging it or by nudging it with the keyboard arrow keys. When moving an object, be extra careful not to inadvertently grab one of the modification handles. Note that the workplane's snap grid is set to 1 millimeter. That makes it easy to align shapes and snap them exactly into position. By dragging the handles, the hexagon shape can be resized. Likewise, you can click on a handle and type in a numerical value. Once I have this hexagon the way I want it, I'm going to save a copy of it by option dragging it to another place on the workplane. In Tinkercad, multiple shapes can be selected either by shift-clicking or lassoing. With my solid box aligned with my hexagon, I can group the two objects together to form a single shape. This can be done by selecting both shapes and hitting the Group button. The two shapes now appear as a single object. I'd like to use the second hexagon to cut away part of my new shape. So, with the hexagon selected, I will change it in the Shape Properties window from Solid to Whole. Once the whole is properly aligned, the whole and the solid can be grouped together. Upon grouping, the whole will be subtracted from the solid. Now we are left with our basic interlocking paving stone shape. I'm going to add a perforation to reduce the density of the object. I'll bring in a cylinder from the Basic Shapes menu, resize it, convert it from solid to whole, and regroup. Now that the final shape is complete, I can select it and export it as an STL file or an OBJ file for 3D printing. Here is what we covered in this lesson: how to create a new 3D design, how to add and manipulate shapes in a design, how to combine shapes, how to subtract shapes from one another, and how to export your design for use with a 3D printer or other design application. Thanks for taking the time to review this presentation. Tinkercad is a great resource, and I hope you take the time to explore its full capabilities.